Hello class, I wanted to go over exam 2 and I'm going to be doing problem number 1. This was exam A. Exam 2 is just double the amounts of the forces including the weight, force 1 and force 2. Here I am also showing the free body diagram. I have included the weight, which many of us forgot. Force 1 is 150, force 2 is 200, and then I went ahead and draw my arrows to show the tension in each one of the supporting cables. If you notice, I have also labeled the axes that I used in order to compute my problems. The other way I did it, just to check my work, was I made this y prime and I made this x prime in order to eliminate tension C, and I had tension B and tension A in both of those equations, which I was able to use those two equations, summing my moments about those, to use two equations and two unknowns. Now, going back, let's go ahead and sum our moments about the x and y axis in order to compute the tensions, and we'll be using the three equations and three unknowns. So the first thing I did was I summed my moment about the y-axis. Again, I always show my equation, which is going to be equal to 0. Now looking at this, TA is going to be rotating about the y-axis in a negative direction, because what we're saying here is that anything rotating this way would be positive. So if I put my thumb out that way, this would be rotating. Close my hand, this would be rotating in a positive. So if TA and TC will both be rotating in a negative direction, where my forces will be rotating or have the tendency to rotate about the y-axis in a positive direction. So I took as negative TA, and that's times 12 feet. So that's this distance from here to here. Then I subtracted the tension in TC, and that's times 6 feet. So from here to here, that's 6 feet rotating clockwise, which would be a negative direction. Then I've got my weights. I've got 200 pounds, and that's going to be multiplied by 6 feet. That is tension, or this force 200. And then I have plus 150 pounds, and that's going to be multiplied by 10 feet. And then the last one is the weight. So some of us forgot to add that in, and that's kind of what mistake you made, and that's all going to be equal to 0. Then simplifying this equation, which a few of us may have mistakes on that as well, I got 12 TA plus 6 TC, and that's going to equal 3,300 pound-feet. Now if I sum my moment about the x-axis, again, counterclockwise is positive, that's equal to 0. Again, that's my equation. So if I'm summing my moment about the x-axis here, again, if I put my thumb out that way, that would mean that this rotation here is a positive moment about that axis. So if you see this, which way is these forces rotating? Well, these forces are rotating, or have a tendency to rotate in a clockwise, which would make all of the forces negative. And then tension in C and tension in B would be rotating clockwise, which would be positive. So writing out that equation, I would have that TB times 3 feet plus TC times 8 feet minus 150 pounds times 1 foot minus 200 pounds times 3 feet minus 100 pounds times 4 feet. And that's going to be all equal to 0. So again, if I simplify this equation, I would get 3 TB plus 8 TC is equal to 1150 pound-feet. Then if I sum my forces in the y direction, I'm sorry, the z direction, let's go ahead and fix that. So my force in the z is equal to 0. Up is positive. Then we know that TA plus TC plus TB minus 150 pounds minus 200 pounds minus 100 pounds. It's all equal to 0. So if I, sorry about that. So if I simplify these equations, these three equations, I'm going to get this. If I write them out, this one, and this one, each three equations, I'm going to have 12 TA plus 0 TB plus 6 TC is equal to 3,300 pound-feet. I'm going to have 0 TA plus 3 TB plus 8 TC is equal to 1150. And the last one is TA plus TB plus TC is equal to 450 pounds. So if I rewrote this in a matrix like many of you did, which was fantastic, I'm going to have this matrix that looks like this. And I'm going to have 1, 1, 1. And then I will have 3,300, 1150, and 450. So but then by plugging this into my calculator, I came up with my values as 226.9 pounds, 126.9 pounds, and 96.2 pounds. So those were my answers there. Now for the other exam, exam B, I came up with my answers as 453.8 for TA, it's pounds, 253.8 pounds for TB, and for TC I had 192.3 pounds was TC. I hope this helps answer some of the problems that you may have incurred during the exam. If you notice here, that there is the average for this problem. So I thought that this class did super well on this one problem. I will be back to talk about problem number 2, and thanks.